if you'd put in your name and where you're located, I would appreciate that. Give me an idea of who's on the line with me today. So I'm going to wait just a minute here more, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, Alicia. Hello, Robin. Hello, Sahara. Thanks for joining me on this webinar. Also got Julie and Andy and somebody else. Learn and Play, welcome. I look forward to spending the next hour with you talking about Google Maps. So, like I said, we're going to wait just a minute more and then we'll get going. Anybody have any questions that they want to ask right now while I'm waiting for a few more attendees? Question from Sandy, is Google Maps as important as it used to be? Actually, Google Maps are more important than they used to be, mainly because in the past you had a 7-pack, and we'll talk about that briefly today, but now you only have a 3-pack, and then you're adding in Google Ads. They're now adding into the 3-pack. And so sometimes in some marketplaces, there's only 2 actually in the Google Map. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. My name is Jeff Fisher, and today we're going to talk about Google Maps and the guide to how to use Google Maps to your benefit. If you missed it, the 2017 Internet Marketing Plan, where I talked about learning how to maximize your web presence using the latest marketing strategies, it's here at Local Childcare Marketing 2017-webinar-replay. And you'll all be getting a copy of the replay here, so you'll be able to go ahead and find that. But there is a replay out there. It's also on our website, so you can find it there as well. So web presence domination method. We've been doing a lot of research over the last 18 to 24 months about what works, what doesn't, and what order they should be done in for childcare. So what we discovered is the first thing is your website. Your website needs to be built in a particular way. I had a webinar, I believe it was 2 months ago, on exactly how the new SEO strategy worked. And also, once you get that website, you got to have strong copy and conversion factors on your website. You got to make sure all of the on-page SEO is done. Then you got to build backlinks, and backlinks are now more important than ever because of the change in Google Maps that I'll talk about. Doing directory work, which is the same as Google Maps work. Blogging, so giving up at least 2 blogs a month. One of those blogs can be about something in your industry, how to choose the best preschool in San Diego or something like that. And the second one can be what we call a seasonal one, where you talk about a particular thing. So Memorial Day would be a great one. How did Memorial Day come about? What's the purpose of it? Things like that. Because the whole idea in blogging is to make it a social site just as much as your other social sites over here. And then monitoring your reputation as a minimum. And then also down here, when money is when money's available, go ahead and do reputation marketing, where you actually take the different reviews that you get and go out and market them. Second thing in this is the social engagement. So making sure that at least 5 days a week, you're posting on Facebook, Google+, 3 days a week, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Make sure those are also getting posted a minimum 2 to 3 days a week, and preferably 5 if you have the time. Then we move into social media ads, pay-per-click advertising, and retargeting. So I'm going to stick with that much of this. We'll talk about this throughout the year, the rest of this. I need your attention. So please turn off your cell phones, your Facebook. If you're a child care center owner director and you're serious, the next 60 to 70 minutes will help get you focused on doing what works online today, not necessarily what you learned a long time ago. What we'll cover is the latest updates with Google Mapless things, 5 biggest issues that could be preventing you from ranking, our proven model for ranking in the 3-pack, and the best tools to systemize and automate the heavy lifting. So the purpose of these webinars ours is to give you all the inside information so you, in fact, can go out and do this work on your own. And then if you decide it's more than you want to be doing, obviously we're here to help. Who am I and why listen to me? I enjoy helping others achieve their dreams and goals. I've been an entrepreneur for my first business was I was 11 years old, and I'm in my mid-50s now, so 40 plus years. I've bought, sold, and operated over 10 businesses. I've spoken on the stage across the country, including Chris Murray's stage and Julie Barkis's. And I'm also a certified online marketing strategist by the local Internet Marketing Association. I'll leave you to read these, but that's what the people are saying about local childcare marketing. We've helped hundreds of childcare centers. So we've done multi-centers, ABC Academy, Jackson as an example, Oxford Schools, 2 locations, Toddlertown, 2 locations, We Care, 3 locations, Kids Campus, currently, I believe it's 3 locations, soon to be 5. So we've done these multi-centers, we've done single centers. Watch Me Grow in North Las Vegas is one example. And then we've also done Montessori. So we're significantly invested in working with childcare centers and helping them achieve their goals. This is what we do every day. Our team members specialize in all aspects of online marketing. So this is our leadership team, and then there are several others that are behind the scenes. Why map listings are important. So heat map studies have been done. In this particular case, this was on a lawyer site. And what they found is that the paid advertising up here got 19% of the clicks. The local advertising here got 44% of the clicks. Then down here, where you see just barely can see it there, more local results. People actually 8% of the time actually click in there. So it is important to be on the map somewhere, preferably in the top 10 or 12 that are displayed. And then the organic clicks, 29%. So if you want to dominate the market, you want this 19% here, you want this 44 here, and the 29% that come here. So anytime you can do pay-per-click advertising combined with good Google Maps work and being in the top 2 or 3 here in the organics, you're going to do phenomenally. So again, same representation. I'm sorry, I should have taken that slide out. So again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in at any point in time. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome, Frank. Got a great turnout today. Good morning, Sean. The biggest changes in Google Maps is, again, these 3 locations instead of 7. So that's a big change. In a second, I'll show you where Google is actually serving up paid ads in the map. Google is also testing home services in San Diego and other markets, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And you say, well, how does that impact me? Well, as soon as Google gets home services figured out, I wouldn't be surprised if they go after childcare centers, because it's another revenue stream. And everything about Google is about the revenue stream and how they can make money. What's not so new is Google Places used to be Google Plus Local, and now it's referred to Google My Business. So this 7-pack, I couldn't even find one for childcare. It's been so long ago, but this is what it used to look like, and you had your A through G, and again, now you're down to this. So you got your pay-per-click advertising is number 1, and your maps is number 2. So again, big change. But there's big opportunity. So if you get it right, and you're in that 3-pack, everybody else is going to notice a big drop in their traffic flow, simply because, as we saw, a significant percentage, 44% of the people are using the map to call in. And I'll show you how you can see what that number is here in the few minutes. So I talked about Google is also serving up ads. So now you can see that you've got that little ad button up there. And so it's a decision of whether or not you want to spend your ad budget, because 8%, again, come through and they click on this particular listing on the maps. So do you have the money for it? And if so, turn it on. But what you want to do is also look how well you're listed. In this case, ABC Academy is a customer of ours. They have 5 locations, and the 3 main locations are already listed here. So we made that decision not to run ads on this particular customer, because each customer needs to work within their budget, and there's other ways. There's many, many ways, as I showed you in that diagram, where we can drive traffic. But you can also see there's now a synergy between pay-per-click advertising, AdWords, the Google Maps, and SEO. So everything that Google's doing is tying each component of this closer and closer together. So the days of just being able to do one component of it are gone. And so we rarely offer anymore just, for example, just Google Maps. We know that you want to be doing Google Maps, and you want to be doing work to get in that organic, because if you can't afford pay-per-click, just putting yourself in the Google Maps and the organic listings will get you roughly 74% of the traffic and clicks. So again, it's what your budget will support. I wasn't able to find childcare easily, but I did find this one for law service. So you can see they're also doing this here in the mobile devices as well. And then I talked about briefly home services. And home services, you'll see up here at the top, again, it's only in San Diego and LA, and I think that's where they're doing the testing right now. I had to use a plumbing company to find an example, but you can see at the top now that Google is actually in partnership with each of these. They guarantee, you can see the word that Google guarantees those providers. So that's going to be rolled out first in the service industries, but I wouldn't be surprised when within a year that you're also seeing this for childcare centers. And so now if you want to be at the very top of the page, it's even going to be more different. You're going to have to go through a verification and application process with Google, and they're actually verifying you through Pinkerton services, and then you can show up there. And you can see there it says 10 plus plumbers. So there's actually 10 people that have been verified, and then the one that's winning up there is the one that has the highest rankings and most reviews. So keep that in mind. And then if you want to, again, just be in a dominant position, you're here, and you're here. So that's what you're looking to do over time. The other big thing that Google has done is it's reduced the number of fake listings by 70%. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more detail, but just keep in mind that Google is getting very stringent on its guidelines for the maps. And if you're not in compliance, they'll drop you off the maps completely and put you to the bottom of the list. So it isn't just they move you down a little bit. If you're in violation of their terms, they punish you hard. So you want to be aware of that as you're working on your Google Maps. So I know I'm going to talk about offices and cities and things like that in your childcare, but I'm sharing this in complete detail just so if you get into a conversation with somebody about Google Maps, and the old philosophy is, oh, I can just get a UPS store, or I can just get a PO box. Well, that doesn't work anymore. You need to have your office or your center in the city you're targeting to rank well on Google Maps. So there's no exception anymore. And what other things could be hurting your rankings? Well, did you try to spam Google with fake locations, inconsistent name, address, phone number profiles? So there's a lot of SEO companies that will go out and put a tracking number inside of that, and that's violating Google's terms. It specifically says no tracking numbers in Google Maps, and it's not worth taking the risk of being completely knocked off. Also, did you spam your city by company name or category? So again, if you're a single entity, and I'll use ABC Academy Jackson as my example, if you did ABC Academy Lansing Street, that's in violation. They just want your actual business name. So they're looking at that. Did you have enough real reviews across the website? So they're also able to identify through IP addresses whether or not your reviews are real, and they're constantly working, as I said, to remove fake addresses, fake reviews. And did you in the past, using your own IP address or one of your providers, create fake reviews? And if you get caught at it, again, Google's going to slap you hard. So you want to avoid that. Please type in any questions. I know I'm going through this fairly quickly, but we have a lot to cover today. And again, you will have a replay going forward. So I want to talk about our proven formula for getting ranked in the 3-pack. And there are 4 key elements. First, Google My Business. Go through Google My Business, work on it in detail, answer all the questions that they ask, and do not put, again, any fake or false information. All right, I do have a question. Why does it matter that a business address and number are the same everywhere? I thought Google was smart enough to find my business. Well, Google is smart enough to find your business, but it's your brand out there online. So if you have, for example, your main business phone number and you have tracking numbers on all peripheral sites, Google's not going to know which one is your main phone number and which one are tracking numbers. If you put in your center name and a variation on it, same thing. It's going to be, if there's conflicting information out there, Google is not going to exactly know what it is. So they want consistency across, and they consider it a high trust factor for their algorithm. So the more you get correct and dialed in, the better you're going to do at ranking. Thanks for that question. So claim and optimize your Google My Business listings. So you want to make sure that you have a login for your Google My Business account. Again, if you're doing this yourself, if you've hired a provider, they'll have that information. And of course, you should ask for it and have it on hand if you want to go ahead and look in there yourself. Make sure your company name is correct company name. And again, don't add any keywords. So don't add best child care center in Nashville or anything like that, which is, again, things people did in the past. Add your website address. Make sure it's correct if you're HTTPS versus HTTP, which our customers are now, the majority of them. Make sure you have it corrected in there as well. Those are all little details. But the big thing is your address inside that Google My Business listing is also a high quality, one of the highest quality backlinks that you can get. Also use a local number. 800 numbers don't work, and they just don't do the trick. Google is looking to show that you're a local business in a local area. Again, local address, no PO box, no UPS store. So even if you know, in the past you said, well, I like to get my mail all at the UPS store, I don't want it coming to the center, and somehow that information got sold out there, because believe it or not, that information is sold, and we'll talk about those aggregators in a second. You want to make sure that your address is the actual physical location of each of your centers. Then upload photos. We ask all of our customers to provide us photos when we first start working with them, and we want as many as possible. And we want to use personal photos, pictures of yourself, the owner, your director, your staff, pictures of your office, pictures of any trucks or equipment. So if you have a bus, put a picture in there. If you have a great playground, put the pictures of the playground. You can either put each individual piece of equipment, or you can do it as a big generic shot of the playground you have. Your logo, any coupons that you want to offer, pictures of your work. So, you know, show your teachers looking over the shoulder of a child, helping them count or build a project or whatever. People connect and resonate with other people. So you want to leverage that in your Google Maps or Google My Business listing. List your hours of operations and services offered. So same thing, what programs are you offering? What enrichment programs are you offering? Any other services that you might provide, you want to go ahead and list them. So if you have after school care, I would list after school care, but if you also are doing individualized or personalized tutoring, make sure you're also adding in the words tutoring, because those are all keywords that are going to help you stand apart. So you want to be able to do that as you go into your My Business. So as I talked about here, we're talking about exact company name, correct categories, preschool, daycare center, whatever you want to nail it down to, correct address. And what I recommend is you go to the United States Postal Service, and we use it all the time, and they have a zip code lookup, and it'll give you exactly how the USPS is using it. And trust me, Google's buying that data from the Postal Service or one of the data aggregators. So that's the one you want to use if you're in confusion. Oftentimes, interesting things happen. We have a customer up in Alaska who believes they're on way, and the Postal Service believes they're on lane. And what happens is this way is on one side of the highway and lane is on the other side. And so there was confusion. And so now they're down working with the Postal Service to get sorted out exactly where way ends and lane begins. Make sure your hours are in there. Make sure your main business phone number is in there. So that's what you want to do. And you can see they're published on Google Search, Google Maps, and Google+. So doing this work also takes into account each of these different options as well. What else can you see in there? Well, first of all, you can see insights. So what does this tell me? Well, it tells me that in this 1 month period, 2.36 or 2360, gosh, I can't even talk to them, 2,360 people saw their Google Maps and my Google My Business listing in the last 30 days. That's pretty phenomenal all by itself. But then you look at here and you can see that there was 140 actions taken. And then on top of that, they got 41 calls from the Google My Business page. So it's something that you want to be paying attention to and making sure that you're getting the best value possible. But again, it takes a lot of work. It takes building citations and consistency with your name, address, and phone number. In our case, we work for 250 listings over time. So you're actually getting on super pages, City Search, Local.com, Angie's List, Magic Yellow, all these different ones that you see up here. So you have lots of citations across the web. And again, that's your brand. So you want to make sure that it's in alignment. So again, the company name's correct, address correct, phone number's correct. If the particular directory allows you to put in a 100-word description of what your business does, make sure that you're getting that correct with good keywords, defining the programs and services that you offer, and don't just leave it blank, because again, that's telling Google more and more about who you are. And then limiting duplicate or incorrect business information, which is something you need to work on as well. All right, I'd like to hear another question. I can talk forever. If you've talked to me, you know that. So aggregators, what are aggregators? Well, Factual, Axiom, Info Group, and Newstar, what they do is they gather information. And as they gather information about, and this comes from DMV reports, this comes again from the Postal Service, this comes from credit card applications that you might do online, any other application that you might do online. So a lot of times what I see is, My Child Care Center, comma, Suite 100, and then all of a sudden we'll start seeing My Child Care Center, comma, pound 100 or number 100. And so what's happened there is when you were filling out a credit card for your business, you got lazy that Sunday afternoon and you put in a pound instead of suite. And so now it's been gathered up by Factual, for example, and then it's been distributed out online to those 300 plus sites. So that's how you get the inconsistencies that go out there. And that's why it's an ongoing service or an ongoing requirement that you're constantly checking this and then correcting any mistakes that are made. And there are some directories that you can't even get the updated information in, they simply buy their information from one of these 4 aggregators and go from there. So question, why do aggregators exist? Thanks for that question. So aggregators exist because there's just too much random information out there, and they existed before the internet. So they've been around for a long time. It's just now they have a new sales opportunity where they used to just sell lists. Like InfoGroup's a great example. You used to be able to just buy lists and phone numbers and the title of the particular person that's running the organization, or if you wanted the marketing manager or whatever variation on the title that you want, you could buy it and get it all on a printed label or on a list. And today, InfoGroup is still doing that same thing, but now they're selling those lists online. They're also helping you do broadcast emails if you want to do that. And then, like I say, one of the biggest revenue streams is that they constantly send the data out to the various online search sites, and they get paid for that. So that's their subscription service that they do. Best tools for building citations? Well, Moz Local, WhiteSpark, Bright Local, Advice Local, and then Yext are the ones that I'm familiar with and we often talk about. They all do slightly different things, but at the end of the day, they're all great tools for building citations. And you can sign up for any one of these. They're all subscription-based, and they'll give you a certain amount of access. We currently use Moz Local as our tool of choice, and we have used that for about the last 7 years. But that may be changing too. So we're always going back and investigating the tools that we use. But if you're willing to do this on your own, I would suggest start with Bright Local. Bright Local is a great tool. It'll help you do your keyword research, and then it will also help you get listed, and they have ways on it to also be able to send out citations. And if you're looking for specifically very niche focused citations, you would the best tool for that is actually WhiteSpark. So if you want to run a citation check and see how consistent or accurate your thing is, then what we do is we just come out here to Moz Local. And so after this webinar, if you want to do this, you'll be able to check out how you're doing. Remember that, again, as the aggregators are selling information, even if you're working with a service provider like ourselves, there can be bad data out there from time to time. So we care Preschools, a customer of ours. They have 3 locations. And so you can see that they have the word San Diego in their name, and so that's an old way that we used to do it. We'll probably go through there sometime this year if anything starts dropping off, because again, if it's working, we're not going to disturb it. But if we start to see the rankings here, the 92% score drop off, then we'll go in and get it taken care of. We can see they have 1 duplicate, so we are going out to Axiom and asking them to correct the duplication. So that's the service, like I say, that we provide. So you can do that for each of these locations. And sometimes you'll see multiple locations. So you also got to look here, are you in the right state? Things like that. But that's a tool that you can use to do that. So I showed it to you live, but that's what you're going to see when you do it. And that's the score you're going to see. So you can see how much of it's complete. You can see how much of it's inconsistent. In this particular case, I can see that Super Pages and New Star and Best of the West and Hot Frog and Axiom for this particular example all have not had any work done on them. And then I can see Google+, Facebook, the Google Map, and Yellow Pages just all have a little bit of work to be done, where you see the gray below the line. That's what that tells you. And again, we have much more sophisticated tools that we use, but the tools that I recommended are all at a reasonable price. You don't need an agency level tool, which is what we use. You can use just one that you get at the lower rate for a single location or multiple location center. So again, best practices with citations. First, manually claim and optimize your Google My Business. So that is the key listing out there. All of these services compare first to that Google My Business. And like I said, if it has an 800 number, it will not show it. It just won't even show up. If it's got extra keywords in there, please go in now and remove them, and Google My Business will update it immediately, since you learned that here today. Again, you can use a tool like Moz Local to get the top 50 citation listings done for you. They have a service to do that. You also want to get listed in the major data aggregators. So again, Axiom, Newstar, Info USA will all do that. So you want to make sure that that information is correct as well. And then, as I said, Bright Local and White Spark are good for niche listings and opportunities. And then don't forget, the other best practice is city business directories. So whatever city you live in, I happen to live in Reno, Nevada, I want to be on every city business directory that I can get on. So if you're a member of the chamber, make sure that you're up. If you're a member of another social group or Seroptimus or anything like that, make sure that you're getting your business listed. Oftentimes you have a business magazine or business newspaper that you can pay anywhere from $50 to $150 a year to get your business listed. Get your business listed, because each one of those creates a high quality backlink to your website. And backlinks at the end of the day, which is part of what citations are, they're backlinks to your website. That's what's going to win if you're trying to rank. Here are some top citations for preschools and childcare centers. So care.com, childcarecenter.us, daycare.com, CareLulu, Mom Trusted, and the rest of the list here. So again, you'll get the replay on this, and you'll be able to do that. So I took this in the evening, so they were closed, but you can see here, this is where you want to be, as I talked about. You want to be in the #1 position and the #1 to 3 position here. The way you're going to get there is having lots of reviews. Reviews do matter, and I don't care what service you're sold for review collection, we offer one. At the end of the day, you have to do the work. There's no way that just hanging up a little sign at your counter is going to get you the reviews that you need in quantity. And so we're going to talk about that. But this one, claimed and verified by Google, no spam in the company name. The title tag you can see here. So the title tag here, preschool, matches preschool here. And this is their actual name, We Care Preschool. And again, preschool doesn't always have to be at the beginning. You could flip these around, childcare and preschool, but you want to have those in there, at least a variation of that. Lots of citations. So again, you can see they're listed on Yelp and other things. And then lots of online reviews. So here you see, again, 33 reviews that are on Google. And then across the web, this particular location has 95 reviews. So they went out, they've done a variety of things. They did Teacher Appreciation Week a couple years ago, and what they did is they reached out to the parents to do reviews and specifically talk about the teacher that their child was with. And so what that did is it got them a phenomenal number of reviews, because it was easy to ask a parent to write a review, or if you will, an online testimonial about their child's teacher. So there's a little trick for you. Run a teacher appreciation, run a classroom at a time if you want to. That's probably the way I would suggest. So, you know, reach out to all the children's parents in your room. If you got, say, a dozen children in a room, and ask them to review the teacher in the room, and you'll get 3 or 4 reviews pretty easily. Because if the parents are in love with the teacher, which most of them are, they're going to want to talk up that teacher. So there's a way that you can build reviews. That's how We Care Preschool did it a couple years ago and got their review count up. They still do a lot of other things to get reviews up. They're not totally dependent on just those old reviews, because fresh reviews are important as well. So how do you get consistent reviews? Again, leverage tools to request a review. So there are different tools out there. The simplest one is just go into your Gmail once a week, spend an hour, pick 10 parents, send an email to them, and ask them for a review. And one of them will probably respond with a review. That's great, because I say down here in the 3rd line item, set a goal of getting 4 reviews per month. And make sure you're sending printed review cards home with instructions. Train your staff to provide a world-class experience, because when you get a review, you want them talking about the wow factor that you've built into your organization. Be willing to call people up that you've sent an email to and ask them if you can walk them through helping them do the review, because we're all great at getting emails and deleting them. And if you are sending out those 10 emails a week, remember in week 1, you got 1 person to sign up for review. So in week 2, you send to the first 9 that you sent to, and then you send to 1 new person. And so you just want to send 3 to 5 times to each of those parents. And I know it may seem a bit annoying, but we're all in that kill email, delete email phase of our life. You know, opening rates on email are constantly going down. So that's the way to do it. So pick up the phone, call them, ask them to do a review. I guarantee you, if you're getting 4 reviews per month, you'll be at least in the 3rd position of the maps pretty soon, because there are not that many childcare centers that are doing it consistently. And then build reviews and recognition into your company culture. So if you're handing home printed review cards, if parents are coming in and picking up their children, or they're stopping at the counter to ask questions, make sure that each of your staff members is writing their name on that card, that they're the one that sent it home. And if they get somebody to give a review, hey, $20 Starbucks card or anything like that will definitely motivate the rest of the team to reach out. Where's the best place to post reviews? So I have a question on that. So anywhere is good, but you kind of want to do it a bit randomly. And what I mean by that, so posting on Google is a great place. Posting on Facebook is a great place. If you can find somebody that's a Yelper, and this is critical, they have to be a constant user of Yelp. If they're a Yelper, ask them. And then there's a lot of other places out there. But the main ones are Google, Facebook, that you want to be getting them up. Yelp, you want to be getting them up. But anywhere that somebody's willing to put up a review, that's perfectly fine. Because you got Yahoo, you got Bing, you've got all those different places. And again, you can put a review up on Hot Frog and Best of the Web and a lot of other places as well. Here's some tools if you want to try and automate it. Bird Eye, Review Buzz, Customer Lobby, and then like I said, we have our own review method as well that we use. It's an internal software that we have. So you can automate the review. There's 3 tools that I've heard a lot of good things about. We personally don't use them, but reach out and make sure that you're getting reviews. And make sure that the reviews are coming back to your website, a link to your website. It does no good for some of these review companies. What they'll do is they'll get their review put up on their own website and link back. That's good, that gets you a link, but Google does not recognize them as review sites, and so it won't get you in the stars. And you need to be in the stars on the reviews to get, like I say, on the map. The other thing is on-page optimization. So this is the 4th component that I talked about. So you can see at the bottom of the website, this is a website that we just recently built. We're putting in the address, the phone number, so that this all lines up. And you can see it also has elite Preschool and Learning Center as the name. So all of that is lined up with what we have. As I said, name, address, and phone number. And what you can't see is what's called structured data. So right behind this part that you can see, you in fact get the structured data component of it. And what that does is that's what tells Google exactly who you are and where your business name and phone number and all those things are in perfect alignment, coded the way Google wants them exactly. So the proven formula, first thing, get your Google My Business up and make sure that you've got that well done. Get on the directory listings. Take some time every single week to work on this. Like I said, there's 250, 300 directory listings out there. But you can go ahead and search Google and, just type in best directory listings for childcare. And somebody's written an article about it, and just follow their guide. Or just type in best directory listings for small business. And I would probably follow that. You'll find several listings out there that have been written about. And make sure you get on all of those. You want to be on at least 50 as an absolute minimum, but in an ideal world, the closer you get to that 250, the more rooted in you are going to be in that number one position. As we talked about, get reviews, and then on-page SEO is the other critical factor. So real quick, just take a second here and let's Google something here. So let's try infant care North Las Vegas. So there we can see Watch Me Grow. I've talked about Watch Me Grow a couple times here. They've got reviews. They're above 4 points. That's really the criteria. They have a few more reviews than these other two. The other thing, notice that they're beating these two corporate or franchise law petites. So that's great. And then, as we said, they're in the top position for Watch Me Grow LV. So the only thing that's missing this morning, and part of the reason that it's missing, is they're not in the Google Ads right now. And that's probably because they ran out of budget for this particular keyword for the day. So that's one example. Let's look at another one. Preschool in San Diego. There we go, We Care. And they've slipped down a bit. So they're down a bit. So now that I've seen that, our team will go to work to try and get them back up in the top where they belong. Let's try, and there's all kinds of variations. So Jackson, Michigan preschool. And we got ABC Academy sitting right there and right there. So, and then what's even better yet is you can see that their preschool page is ranking and their home page is ranking. So that's a great position to be in. And then here's a directory listing. We talk a lot about what are directory listings. Here's another directory listing. This is what I talk about as a local directory listing. So it's the school district talking about preschools. So that's good. And so those are some of the preschools. So that's a couple of examples of, again, where you want to be listed. In this particular case, they're in position number 3. This one's beating them with no reviews, makes no sense except this 3.9. So we don't know for a fact, but what if Google has written into their algorithm the fact that they have less than a 4.0? Don't know. Nobody will ever tell us that. Google doesn't share that kind of information. So any other questions today? Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. So thanks for staying with me for the whole time. And what I want to offer everyone is a free online marketing plan review. If you're an existing customer, go ahead and sign up or reach out to Nicole, and she'll get you an appointment scheduled. And if you're new to us, you can call the phone number here. Or you can go to this localchildcaremarketing.com/schedule, localchildcaremarketing/schedule. But what we'll do is we'll do an analysis of your web presence, your online visibility. We'll do a custom keyword list for the most important search terms. We'll do a ranking report showing you how you rank currently. We'll analyze your online directory listings and the consistency across them. We'll look at your reviews and your reputation. We'll look at your social presence. We didn't talk a lot about social today, but social signals are huge. You have to be getting out there, again, posting on those different social sites, because Google looks, are you involved in the community as a whole, meaning your community, the global community, and putting yourself out there as a business and an individual. And then we'll look at your website conversion effectiveness. Do you have your phone number in the upper right-hand corner? Do you clearly have your name, address, and phone number at the bottom? Do you have clearly defined links and an easy-to-read navigation menu? So all those things. So that's what's included in our review. Again, call us at 888-354-6196, 888-354-6196, or give us, again, reach out and localchildcaremarketing.com/schedule. Either way, and again, for our existing customers, if you'd like to do a review of where you're at and discuss how else we can help you do better, please reach out to Nicole and she will line up something. How do I get into googlemybusiness.com? Okay, great question. So let's jump back here. So if you just go in here, Google My Business, and search for Google My Business. It'll take you right here. And if you've never been in before, you can sign in right here at the top. And if you just click on the Start Now, it'll walk you all the way through the process on how to do that. Or again, you can give them a call. So Google is very excited to get you put in here in the Google My Business. So that's all you need to do is just search for Google My Business, or you can type in google.com/business. Any other questions? All right, we're gonna go ahead and please remember, this is the domination method. This takes into account your foundation, and then we work on social, then we work on ads, pay-per-click ads, retargeting, reputation marketing, then you want to advance into email marketing, paid business directories, and I gave you a few of those today. And then if you're doing offline stuff, I highly recommend that you're doing some postcard marketing within the 4 or 5 miles of your center. And then are you doing referral programs? Are you handing out gift cards for people that refer? Are you sending out a newsletter asking people to refer? Do you have some kind of rewards program? So first referral, they get $100. The second referral, they get $250, and the third and everyone after that, you give them $500, or night out with the family, or whatever the case may be, whatever works for you. So have a great day. Enjoy this long weekend that's coming up, and please reach out and let us review what you've got going on. There's no obligation to buy. I'm happy to meet with you and talk about how you can do better with your web presence. Have a great day. Thank you.